Tony, it seemed like late in the game when you needed a play at the offensive end, either Malcolm or London would come through for you. As a coach, how comforting is it in those situations to look out and see those guys on your side?
Yeah, that's what I told them. We really made some nice plays down the stretch. We had to answer the plays they were making. Those guys off the dribble shooting those deep threes was really tough, and we had to answer with some of our own plays made. And, Devin's nice kind of hop-step drive and finish on the glass, some nice passes, and, of course, some of the shots that were hit. I thought we were really good against that zone early in the first half, and then that stretch in the second half, I thought we stood around a little too much. I think we needed to try to attack more, and I thought we became more attack-oriented and trying to throw the ball in the high post. But absolutely plays were made, and obviously they made the plays too. That was, a good game at the end for sure.
Tony, all those three-pointers they hit, a lot of them seem like good shots, good defense, just maybe good athletes.
Yeah, they're big. Their guards are big. Ben and Jay, what he did, and as a freshman to see what Malachi Richardson did, that is impressive. Good size. I think there was a couple times maybe we could have been a little higher on the ball or maybe tried to chase him off that three-point line, but the majority of them were, I'll watch it, were really deep and nice plays. And I said if guys are hitting tough, contested, deep threes, at times you have to take your hat off to them. We tried to switch a little bit at the end just to try to bother them, and they were dangerous. I think that was a good win for us for sure, and you can see why they've been playing good basketball with that kind of shooting and from that kind of distance.
Tony, Malcolm only had 3 assists. It felt like a lot more. But how important was he when you ran him into the high post there in the zone?
Yeah, we just we said Malcolm in the middle, so I think that was a show. He put Malcolm in the middle, and he did a good job. It's when we had Nolte in as the kind of the 4, and Evan obviously played on the perimeter with the other 2 guys, London and whether it was Devin or whoever else, Mariel or Darius was in. So it just allowed you like having playmakers. Isaiah does a good job up there. We had a couple different attacks against their zone, but you like having a playmaker up there whenever you can. And Malcolm could turn and face. He had the shot, or he could drive it, and more of like a point guard in there. And I thought that gave us a nice lift, and we got a lot of buckets, whether him scoring or him making some plays.
Tony, it seems this is a common refrain, but talk about Malcolm in the middle, but Isaiah in the middle and his ability to pass those 2 late assists, finding London in the corner for the 3, 5 rebounds and 19. Can you ask much more of him right now?
Yeah, that's, again, having a playmaker in the middle, whether it's a point forward type who can see and high-low passes and find things is huge. And he's all heart. You see that in Isaiah. A couple times the young man, the great rebounder, Roberson, got a couple of the offensive rebounds. I think Isaiah was just out of position. But he just comes up with big plays, and he really anchors us. And when they took the big kid out, Coleman, I had Mike, I thought we needed to match up with Isaiah on Lydon and then use Anthony on Roberson. They're just more mobile that way. And I thought Isaiah was, again, does all the things that show up some in the stat sheet, but you just watch those hustle plays, and even to get fouled, he made 1 out of 2 free throws, but to come up with that ball was big.
Yeah, Tony, the London's 3 after Malcolm had missed the free throws, a 3-point game from that far wing.
Corner. Yep.
Was that the play, was it the same play that you ran against California, or was it Miami? I'm trying to think from that same area.
Well, I'd like to tell you that we diagrammed that play, but it's so hard to run plays against Syracuse's zone. It really is. You have to just play. You have to be aggressive. You have to try to get it in the high post and have guys play. And I think, is that the pass, Dave, that you said that Isaiah hit him? Yeah, I think I don't know who got it into him, and then I think really Isaiah made the right play and just kind of shifted some of the ball fake and slid it over to London. And then obviously London, we had them chasing. So that was, definitely we told him to get it to the high post, and we liked Isaiah up there, and that was his playmaking ability.
For a team that struggled throughout the first half, through many of the games in the beginning of the season, to be up 8 at half, what does that kind of tell you about, and what were your thoughts on that when you?
Yeah, I thought we were real comfortable. We came out and turned over the next 4 possessions to start the second half, so I don't know if that helped us. We weren't real good, but I thought, to answer your question sincerely, we played a really good first half offensively against that zone. I thought we got inside, outside shots. Obviously, we hit some threes and moved the ball. And I don't even know what we were from the floor in the first half. But I can tell you, 15 to 27, got the kinds of shots. And we, for the most part, made them earn. A couple times they beat us in the lane, but I thought we were pretty good defensively. So I was happy with the first half of play, but I knew when a team gets going like that and is hitting those shots, and then we start at the second half of those turnovers, it was going to come down to a possession game. And there was a couple. I think Malcolm lost one. We had a chance to, either get one in transition or at least get possession, and then they went down and Cooney hit the three. Then we turned one over against the press attack. So I wish we could have separated, but we needed everything.
Roberson had several double-doubles in a row coming in here, 20 boards at Duke. Not as much of a factor tonight. How much of a factor in your game plan? What was he, and what were you looking to do with him?
That's a means of survival for us we say one and done people. That's maybe our version of one and done here at Virginia right now is when a shot goes up, everybody block out and really rebound. We can't, that kills our defense when people are getting a lot of second chance points or second chance, and they had 9 offensive rebounds, but we knew how gifted he was. He's so quick and long, and we've been hurt by that before, so we really have worked hard probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we need to continue on defensive rebounding. I know it sounds like something that you just do, but you have to have guys that have a nose for the ball. Guards got to come in and rebound, and with a guy like that, get hit your body on his and maybe sacrifice yourself so he can't get there.
Pretty deep into the season now, London is shooting well over 50% on three-pointers. When you recruited him and when he came here, did you think he could become this kind of shooter based on what you saw in high school?
I remember Coach Sanchez went to see him play, and he was the MVP of the tournament in, I'm drawing a blank on the name, it was in Illinois or Chicago. It was a real prominent tournament. And I think he went, one game he was 7 of 7 from 3. The next game he was, maybe 6 of 8 or 9 or something like that. Certainly knew he could shoot it, and you saw him his freshman year. I believe he shot in the mid-40s from 3. He was a little more opportunistic. Now he's looking a bit more, and of course he had to. So the mechanics are pretty strong, and I think that's an important key for us, for him to look for him and have that threat, to be a threat for us. So, yeah, I think he was a complete player when we recruited him. His feel is the thing that stood out, Jeff. You could see that with some of the passes he made. But definitely it's nice when there's a completeness, a guy who can stretch it from 3.
After the first 5 possessions of the second half when you turned it over.
Yep.
They only scored 3 points. In that stretch, is that kind of an indication maybe that you guys are trying to find your defensive chops again a little bit?
I would have to look at it. I remember when we played them there last year, and we were really bad offensively. And maybe they weren't real good offensively, but our defense, I think we scored 2 or 4 points for the first 15 minutes, whatever it was, none. Our defense held us in there, and when your defense can keep you in there, I think they did miss a couple of open threes in the second half, but I thought, again, we took a step closer, the Clemson game and this game, to making it harder for people to get at least rhythm shots. So, yeah, when you turn it over or you're struggling, you need your defense to just kind of keep you somewhere connected to it.
Yeah, Tony, what did you think when you heard that Syracuse was coming in here today?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Obviously, everybody wishes the schedule could have stayed, but I think it was a smart move, at least. Not where I grew up from, it would have been no problem in Wisconsin with the weather. You could have played, and there's no issue with that. But here, looking at the roads and how hard we got hit, I don't think we could have played Saturday. And obviously, the safety part is there. Them coming in the day of the game, I'm sure they would have liked to have come the night before. But I don't think it affected their shooting too much. So at least from that standpoint, they were good. But I wish they could have gotten in last night, but I think they got in safe, and hopefully they'll get out safe. And I appreciate the fans that came because, hopefully the roads are better now, but it was a loud crowd, and, for us to have however many came, that was great. So I really appreciated that, and again, they got a good show.